Hello, today we're going to look at a few additional things that we haven't really looked closely at in dosage calculations, and then we're just going to look at a little bit of a review for the syringes and volume, etc., for the parenteral or parenteral route. So let's talk quickly about the calculating doses of parenteral drugs in units, and we're looking here at the insulin syringe first. And it holds a half milliliter, so 50 units if it's a half milliliter, or 1 milliliter equals 100 units. We use the unit 100 syringe for insulin administration only. So this is the one that we have that is in the orange, and we have used it when we did our subcutaneous injection when we were simulating our first injection, which was a sub-Q insulin injection into our abdominal area. So let's look at this example of calculating heparin doses in units. Heparin is administered with a tuberculin syringe, and so just something to note. And here we have an example of a dose ordered of heparin 2,500 units, and its available medication is the heparin 10,000 units milliliter. So go ahead and do this calculation and bring it to class with you, and we will have a discussion about it. Actually, I will show you on the next slide as well, but go ahead and do it prior. You can look at the next slide, and then we'll also discuss it in class. So there are two different examples here on this slide that we're looking at. We have the formula method, my favorite, and we also included the dimensional analysis method because I know that a lot of you raised your hand and said that that was the way that your brain thought and the calculation that you used. Were you correct? Great job. So now we're going to talk about combination of insulin. So we have the Humulin R, and the R stands for recombinant. And in this example, the order was the Humulin R 22 units, and we're going to then draw the Humulin N 26 units. So available in 10 milliliter vials of Humulin R, the unit is 1,000, and the Humulin N unit is 1,000. So that's what's available in the 10 milliliter vial. So again, in a 10 milliliter vial, we have the Humulin R, there's 100 units, and the Humulin N is available in a 10 milliliter vial and also the 100 units. How much insulin would you draw into that 100 unit syringe? Well, if you said 48 units, you would be correct because we're looking at Humulin R, which was 22 units, and we add that. We bring in the Humulin N, which was 26, so 22 and 26 equals the 48 units. Again, looking at that same example here, we have the Humulin R units and the Humulin NPH of 26 units available in 10 milliliter vials of the 100 units, and Humulin R, and the 10 milliliter vial of units in the Humulin NPH. So again, describing that in our 10 milliliter vial, we will have 100 units of the Humulin R, and in a separate 10 milliliter, I don't know why I can't say that tonight, milliliter vial, we will have 100 units of the Humulin NPH. Are the units in the same measurement here? If you are thinking yes, they are, then you are correct because they're both in units. So what is the desired dose here? Well, the desired dose is again 48 units because we had 22 of the Humulin R and 26 of the Humulin NPH. We want to make sure that we always draw up in order of the doctor's order. So in that case, it would be the Humulin R first and then the Humulin NPH. Which syringe would you choose for this scenario? If you said the 100-unit insulin syringe, you would be correct. So how much insulin would you draw into the syringe? Well, we talked about it would be a total of 48. You would draw first the 22 units of the Humulin R and then the 26 units of the Humulin NPH. Always draw the insulin in the same order as it is written, like I said previously. In the case of the 22 units of Humulin R, we do that first, and then the 26 units of the Humulin NPH, the Humulin NPH. This helps to prevent any dosage errors. And what route would be used for this scenario or example? If you said sub-Q or subcutaneous, you are correct because we already know that subcutaneous injections are the normal route for insulin injections. Now let's just look at a few little review areas. So let's look at the syringe. What type of syringe is it? By looking how the measurements go. It is a 1 milliliter tuberculin syringe. What's the volume capacity? Good. If you said the volume capacity was 1 milliliter, you are correct. And how is it calibrated? So in tuberculin syringes, we start at the 0.01. And what is it typically used for? What is the syringe typically used for? So typically intradermal is the most common for the TB syringe, and some subcutaneous injections where the volume of the drug is less than 1 milliliter. Good. I bet you got all of those because you've been doing so well on that. Let's go to the next one. This shows you that we said it was a 1 milliliter tuberculin. The volume capacity was 1 milliliter. The calibration usually starts, I think that should say 0.01, and it's typically used for intradermal and subcutaneous injections where the volume of the drug is less than 1 milliliter. Let's look at this syringe. What type of syringe is this? It is a 3 cc, which we also know is a 3 ml syringe, and the volume capacity is 3 milliliters. That's correct. How is it calibrated? From 0.1 milliliter, and what is it typically used for? Intramuscular and subcutaneous injections. Good job. So there it is, type of syringe, 3 cc, volume capacity, 3 cc, calibration is at 0.1, and typically used for intramuscular and subcutaneous. Type of syringe here. That's correct. It is a 100 unit insulin syringe. The volume capacity is 100 units or 1 ml, and it's calibrated in 2-unit increments. It's typically used to administer insulin. Awesome. And here we go. Type of syringe. Yep, volume capacity, 100 units or 1 ml, calibration 2 units, and it's typically used for insulin. Did you get all of those correct? If you did, awesome job. And I will see you in class. Just wanted to look at the tuberculin syringe again. I did make the calibration change. There was a typo on the slide. So as you read in your book and as we've been talking about prior, the syringe is used for the 1 milliliter tuberculin syringe, and it's calibrated in a 0.01 increment from 0.01 milliliters to 1 milliliter. So just wanted you to see that correction made, because I noticed as I was recording the lecture that there was a typo there. Okay, have a great time and a great day, and I'll see you in class. Bye.